Did you enjoy the sunrise today? It's quite beautiful.
Yeah, it was nice to watch the light just breaking through the darkness, and now it's waking me up because it's shining in my eyes.
Sunrise is always my favorite time when we did the night sails, because you'd be tired and then the sun come up and you'd be like, oh, I'm awake because it's so beautiful, and it just kind of wakes you up.
Yeah, it's quiet. You get to feel that everybody else around you is asleep and quiet.
Exactly. How's the dog doing?
Well, they've been fed.
Fed,
They're
relieved, and
very
sleeping.
well. Yeah. And they're on top of each other, so they're created a nice warm pile.
From Rudder Cut Key, we passed to the Exuma Sound using Rudder Cut and sail 11 nautical miles on the sound side before using Adderley Cut to access Leaf Island. We anchor beside the abandoned Caribbean Marine Research Center, which, based on the number of other boats here, is a very popular site. Our first dinghy ride is to Coconut Beach. Did you know that of the over 2,600 species of palm trees, only one produces coconuts? Also, a coconut tree is monoecious, which means that it produces both male and female flowers on the same tree. So all coconut palm trees are capable of bearing coconuts. I point this out now because it'll later help you to understand why I just didn't find Jim's joke very funny. That's why it's called Coconut Beach.
These must be all male coconut trees.
Why?
No seeds on them.
That's like a really bad, not even a dad joke, that's like a really bad joke. On our way up to Perry's Peak, the highest point in the Exumas. Jim is not good about waiting for me. He likes to be first. I was complaining about how you never wait for me. You always just forge ahead. Oh, she'll figure it out. She'll be fine.
You gotta grow up sometime, sweetheart.
Uh-huh. You have longer legs than I do.
That's Williams Bay right there.
Yeah. Here's the marker, 1967. You're over there. We're at Leaf Cay Island. So we only have one more place left in the Exumas.
Georgetown?
Yeah, that's correct. This is our next to last stop in the Exumas. And you are on a cliff. After dropping off the LabMaraners, we head to Norman's Pond Cay. Our first destination is an old salt pond. We leave our dinghy near the beach and wade into the salt pond. I spot a Bahamian blue crab and stop to check out its beautiful coloring. It tries to scare me off if I get too close, making quite a display in the water using its claws. Jellyfish.
It does look like an upside down jellyfish. I see this one over here pumping.
Yeah, they're very weird.
It's gonna wear that jellyfish as a hat.
Yeah. Not so much. Like the lyrics, maybe I'll fix the kids.
So he sees shadows.
Yeah, the other one saw
He does see shadows, look.
Yeah, the other one saw my shadow and was like making all kinds of noise. Sees your hat. You're in it. You're shadowed. Oh.
Wait. It's just making a big display.
So where are we, Jim?
We're at the salt pond on Pond Cay, so this is the pond.
Yes.
Somebody had put a concrete entryway in here.
Yeah, there used to be a salt collection area.
There was?
Yeah.
Pull her out.
Now the current's going out.
Yeah. From the old salt pond, we head to our second destination on Norman's Pond Cay, which is mentioned in our guidebook as an above-ground pool. That is cool.
Oh, that is very cool.
Yeah, that's super cool. It's a little hard to see from the water, but when we saw water rushing out from the rocks, we thought we'd check it out. It's so, clear. Wow. How clear that water is. We found the above-ground pool. You can see it's lovely. It is, it's beautiful. It's such a beautiful green color.
It's so like clear. Wow. Look how clear that water is. Anything safe?
It's a big cave back there.
Is it?
Very deep. Goes straight, almost straight down.
Oh, that's cool.
Saw a NASA grouper about that big. Given how much water is rushing out, it must be a big pool back there.
Yeah.
Now you'll get your hair wet?
Uh-huh.
You don't look very pretty with those boots on.
It would be really hard to walk on this stuff if we didn't have those boots on.
This is a very pretty place.
It's beautiful.
Look, everyone, she's got her hair wet. No good pictures for the rest of the day. What people watching this can't see is that there is a huge deep hole right behind you and it keeps going into the rock. You're gonna go out with the outgoing tide. It's a nice standing little waterway, and there's another standing waves about 500 feet out.
Our next destination is Leaf Cay to see Bahamian Rock Iguanas.
These guys are very reminiscent of the ones in Leaf Cay near Elms Cay. They must be a variant. They may be a little more pink though.
See why they're called pink?
Yeah. They're definitely pinker than the other ones were.
These 5 are posing for you.
I know, they're posing very nicely. Hi guys.
Is there a reason why he's all alone?
I don't know.
He's gonna come after you? Tip of the week: before you go to the Bahamas, do a good job cleaning out your cooling system of your outboard, because in the Bahamas you will be taking in a great deal of sand inside your cooling water system, and you won't have a lot of fresh water to flush your outboard. When you are in the Bahamas, there'll be a great deal of very shallow motoring in your dinghy, and as a result spin up a lot of silt and mainly sand, and all these engines are water cooled. So it sucks water up from around the prop and these fins on either side. What ends up happening is sand will be pulled up into that system, and the salt water, because the engine's always up in the air, will slowly crystallize salt and embed the salt and the sand inside your coolant system, and it will occlude the amount of water that can cool your engine. We had a challenge a few weeks ago where I noticed the water system had completely clogged up. So Yamaha has a way of doing maintenance, but what you can't do very easily in the Bahamas is get a freshwater hose under high pressure. There's not a lot of fresh water around except for what you make on your boat for most people. So it's better to do this at a marina somewhere in the States where you have good high pressure. You take a high pressure water hose, fresh water, and you attach it here, and you turn it on and let the pressure here back flush the system down the prop and through all this. So when you have the fresh water flushing through the prop system, it is slowly dissolving the salt that's holding all the sand in place. And over 45 minutes, we slowly saw from just a few little drips coming out from both these fins and around the base of the prop, to all of a sudden it started gushing. As all the salt was dissolving, as the sand was pushing out, this all cleared out over time. The next thing we realized was once this was all flushed out, this back flush system also allows water to then go up around the engine and then supposed to pour out this little hole right here. We had this flushing out really well, but not a drop was coming out of here. After running a few more options trying to figure out what was going on, the solution was using a paper clip through this hole, and I started poking it, and lo and behold, both salt crystals and sand crystals slowly started pouring out of this.
Our last destination is to visit the abandoned buildings of the Caribbean Marine Research Center. The Marine Research Center was built on Leaf Docking Island in 1984 and abruptly closed in 2012. The buildings are all left open, and left behind are furniture, equipment, and research pages of those who lived and worked here. It's very eerie to think about everything that was just left behind. One building is full of rows of large aquariums, and post-it notes detail the daily assignments.
Thanks. You think they have in those tanks? Oh, they have a pickaxe. You see that? Going around. So we were walking through the old Caribbean Marine Research Center that they built in 1984, and in 2012 the funding ran out because the grant ran out and they just left. So stuff is just left behind.
What hasn't been pilfered in the last 9 years is still here.
Yeah, very interesting.
We also visit the living quarters where we find beds still there, and we see a building with a large desalinator for making fresh water from seawater.
Jim isn't much of a fan of these old buildings, but I find them very interesting.
Do you know what that is?
So this used to be the runway. Still some landable area. Some of the nicer parts of the runway. I guess since it hasn't been used for 9 years. This is what 9 years worth of neglect looks like.
There's like an optical illusion, like it's getting narrower and smaller.
In time, it is getting narrower and smaller. Did you find something that would interest you?
I had to do something to wait for my wife. This is all I could find.
Climbing a ladder? What's up there?
Chimney. There's a pipe in the middle of it.
A rod running through the shaft of this structure was used to accurately track tide levels. Join us next week when we travel to Stocking Island and Georgetown, where we hike the trails on Stocking Island and stop at Georgetown for some provisions.